welcome everybody to your local Forcecast. We are your anchors, Austin.
And Morgan.
Welcome back. It's been 5 days. It's too long.
Far too long.
Far too long. Welcome back to the Forcecast. We've got some, this is probably going to be a shorter episode, but we've got some things to talk about. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just start with our good old On This Day. This is not on this day per se in Star Wars history.
Hey, that rhymed.
Yeah, that was the idea. Because mostly I'm not too impressed with the things that happened on this day. So we're going to go back actually 4 days to January 18th in 2002. When John Williams and the London Symphony Orchestra began writing the soundtrack and performing the soundtrack for Attack of the Clones. Which, the only thing I'm going to say about it is that those are the best parts of the prequels by a freaking landslide, and that's all I'm going to say.
Well, actually, for On This Day in Lord of the Rings, there literally was nothing between our last episode and this one, between last Thursday and today.
It's Moria? Or no, they're walking it. They're
just in Lothlorien, yeah. The only thing it says for today, on the 22nd, the Fellowship rests in Lothlorien. And also, it's during the time when Gandalf is battling the Balrog.
I wish we'd seen that whole fight.
Now, where in the fight they're at, it doesn't say. It just says that he battles the Balrog. Actually, let me see if it says something.
We deserve to see that whole fight.
Yeah, right? No, well, it gives an excerpt from the book, or from the appendices. It says, long I fell, and he fell with me.
No. Long time I fell, and he fell with me. His fire was about me. I was burned. Then we plunged into the deep water, and all was dark. I almost went Christopher Lee there.
I think almost a little Patrick Stewart, too.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart.
Well done.
Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are the same person. We all know.
Yes.
Actually, fun fact, when I first saw X-Men, the first one, I was really young, I legit thought that they were the same. I thought they were both Ian McKellen.
Really?
Because I only knew Gandalf. I legit thought they were the same. They sound very similar. They have
do.
Very similar voices.
And they are the best
and
of
they're
friends.
best friends, and they're hilarious.
They are friendship goals.
They're so
to
funny.
the max.
They're so funny.
I love them so much. And then just to go ahead and skip ahead for tomorrow, for Wednesday, Gandalf and the Balrog reach the peak.
Deep I fought in the Balrog of Morgoth.
Yeah, what'd he say? But yeah, it just
Great
says...
scene in the movie, too.
Yeah, it just says, Gandalf and Balrog reach the peak, which is actually called Zirak Zigil, which is, in the movie, the high tower that they fight on, and eventually he defeats the Balrog and throws him over the mountainside. So that's all I've got for Lord of the Rings for today. Now, before we get on to our topic, we've got some other media news. The only thing really that we want to talk about is the nominations that were released for the Academy Awards.
Yes, the Academy Awards, also known as the Oscars, are coming out soon. And we're going to go through and we're going to just list off the nominations. So we're going to start with Best Picture. First off, we got Black Panther. Got my vote.
Which I've heard is actually the first superhero movie to actually be nominated for Best Picture Academy Award, which is incredible.
I don't know, is Dark Knight?
I don't know really anything about Dark Knight.
It didn't win, but...
Yeah.
We got Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, Favorite, Green Book. I want to see Green Book, because there's Viggo in it, and I've heard it's actually pretty good. So
I've heard that too.
I want to see Green Book. Because, Viggo Mortensen, he looks great.
There's also Roma.
That's a Netflix one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, also, Favorite, it has the lady from...
The Night Manager.
Yeah, Night Manager. She's the...
Yeah.
I think she's for Best Actress.
Yeah, I believe she actually was nominated. Also, A Star is Born and Vice.
Personally, don't want Vice to win because I don't like Christian Bale right now. He's a great actor, but I just don't like him as a person right now. Our votes for Black Panther. Best Director... do we really want to pronounce some of these? Alfonso Cuarón
For Roma.
Yorgos Lanthimos. Oh my gosh, we're so white. For The Favorite. Spike Lee, I can pronounce that one. For Black Klansman. Adam McKay for Vice. And Oh my gosh.
Polakowski.
I apologize right now.
For
our whiteness.
Yeah, Paul Polakowski. Wow, I'm not even going to try. For Cold War.
From what I understand, you are a good director.
Then we have for Best Actress, we have Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, Glenn Close for The Wife, Olivia Colman, the favorite, the one that we just mentioned from the show The Night Manager, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, and Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me?
You know what? Okay, I'm going to say this. I actually kind of respect Gaga as an artist. She tried to bring back jazz, which is why I respect her.
I like jazz.
I heard from my ward mission leader that she was trying to bring back jazz, and that she was actually pretty good at it. So I kind of respect Gaga. You know what? I kind of hope she wins this one.
Well, and I've heard bits of her singing from this movie, and she sounds like
I have heard
different.
though that a lot of people I've talked to were disappointed with Star Is Born.
Really?
Saying it was kind of overhyped and didn't really pan out in the way they wanted it to.
I will say her Super Bowl performance from, I believe it was last year, that was actually super good.
Yeah.
You never saw that, did you?
It wasn't. Yeah, it was last year, I guess. But
yeah,
no,
you would have been on your mission.
Yeah, I was on a mission. Didn't see it.
Well, no, if it was this time last year, you would have been home.
Last year was Timberlake, because I saw that one.
Oh, okay, so maybe that was 2 years ago. Okay,
yeah,
2 years ago.
I forgot what year it is. All right. Best Actor, Christian Bale for Vice. Again, not a big fan right now. Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born. Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem DeFriend. Eternity's Gate. Rami Malek, I think is how you pronounce it, for Bohemian Rhapsody. He kind of creeps me out, but I hear he was good. And Viggo Mortensen for Green Book. Want Viggo, but Malik's probably going to get it. I'm not going to lie, Malik's probably... I see the best contenders right now are Bale and Malik.
See, I've heard his Freddie Mercury was pretty good.
I've heard that Queen themselves saw him perform, and were like, what the heck? I've heard freaking Mercury's sister was like, that's my brother. Like, freaking...
That's impressive.
Like, I've heard he's great. I have not seen the movie.
Isn't he an Egyptian actor? Or like
I think so, yeah.
Egyptian or Israeli? I'd have to look him up.
Yeah, he's his name. Best Supporting Actress.
Best Supporting Actress. We have Amy Adams for Vice.
We're not fans. Sorry.
I don't like Amy Adams. Marina de Tavira for Roma. Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk. Emma Stone in The Favorite. And Rachel Weisz as The Favorite. Rachel Weisz is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind those two. I don't mind Emma Stone. Best Supporting Actor, oh gosh.
Marshala Ali.
Sure. For Green Book, Adam Driver for Black Klansman. You know, Kylo Ren getting his Oscar. Sam Elliott in A Star Is Born. Richard E. Grant, Can You Ever Forgive Me? And Sam Rockwell for Vice.
It's pretty much a lot of the same movies you'll hear.
Yeah, that's what happens in the Oscars. It's always the same movies. And you kind of get sick of it sometimes, especially when...
It depends on the movie, because some you're like, no.
But even
others...
then, you're probably sitting there like, okay, at least they don't announce it all the time.
Yeah. For Best Original Screenplay, we have The Favorite, First Reformed, Green Book, Roma, and Vice, of course.
We should see Green Book.
What is Green Book even about? Do you even know?
I don't know, honestly. The thing is just kind of like a buddy movie,
I just want to see it just because it's Viggo.
But again, I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah.
So Best Adapted Screenplay, we have A Star Is Born. However, this is literally, I think it's the third or fourth remake of that movie.
Really?
This is an old movie. Like, the original is an old movie.
I didn't even know it was a remake at all.
Old. It's like a third or fourth remake.
Oh,
like,
wow.
This is not new at all.
I had no idea.
The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, one of my classmates brought that one up. Black Klansman, If Beale Street Could Talk, and Can You Ever Forgive Me for Best Screen Adaptation.
For Best Makeup and Hairstyling, there's only 3. We have Border, Mary Queen of Scots, which I actually want to see that one, and Vice.
I think Vice is going to win that one because I do not see Christian Bale.
I cannot see Christian Bale.
I'm not a fan of the let's just make a movie about a politician to make him look like a horrible person. I'm not a big fan of that. But I will say that you cannot tell that's Christian Bale. But at the same thing, like, you can tell that in that Churchill movie that was Sirius Black, what's his name?
Gary
Oldman. Best Costume Design, Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Black Panther, needs to win. The Favorite, Mary Poppins Returns, and Mary Queen of Scots. Black Panther is my vote.
I gotta go Black Panther because their costumes were just fantastic.
Oh yeah, that was one of my actually legitimately one of my favorite parts of the movie. I loved the whole African culture thing they put in the movie, and I really hope it wins.
Well, they incorporated so many different parts of African tribes and culture in general.
It because it's so good.
I just really like the Dora Milaje armor.
The Dora Milaje.
That looks so cool.
Well, right here we have a picture of Nakia wearing the Dora Milaje armor.
Yeah. Let's see. Best cinematography. We have The Favorite, Never Look Away, Roma, A Star Is Born, and Cold War. Then best original song.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I didn't even know at least this had a name. But Black Panther again for All the Stars.
Well, it's the credit music. It's
it's the credit music.
It's
okay.
not the theme song.
I'll Fight from RBG. The Place Where Lost Things Go, Mary Poppins Returns. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't agree or disagree. But I've heard Emily Blunt does really well in that one, and she can sing, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, she's a dead ringer for Julie Andrews.
Oh, yeah. Then we have Shallow, A Star Is Born, and When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
I don't think Black Panther has maybe it has a chance to win.
I don't know about that
There's
one.
some I want it to win and some I'm not very hopeful for. I want it to win Best Picture because I at least want a movie that I agree with.
Yeah.
Best Picture. Best Original Score, Black Panther. I actually really like the Black Panther score. I love the theme.
Yes.
Black Klansman, If Beale Street Could Talk, Isle of Dogs. It just looks like a strange movie. And Mary Poppins Returns.
We'll skip that one.
Ooh, Best Animated Feature.
Best Animated Feature.
This is a landslide, and you'll know why in a second.
For Best Animated Feature, we have Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse is going to win hands down because I've not seen the other two, but like Wreck-It Ralph and Incredibles 2. Actually, I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph either, but Incredibles 2 didn't really bring anything new in the way of animation to the screen. It was a great movie. I think
it's just because it was a highly anticipated movie.
Well, there are plenty of highly anticipated movies that don't get Oscar nods.
True.
But it's like, it was one of those, like, I felt it didn't bring enough newness to the screen. Spider-Verse does that in spades, and it's such a great movie. I really enjoy Spider-Verse. I think it's hands down going to win.
Let's see. Foreign language film. Don't need to talk about that. Best sound mixing. Black Panther, yet again. Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, Roma, and A Star Is Born.
I think Bohemian Rhapsody is going to win that one.
Honestly, I agree, and I haven't even seen that movie either.
This one's funny to us. Okay, before we go through this next list, we've not seen this movie, but when you get to it, you'll know. For Best Sound Editing, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, Roma, and A Quiet Place. Now, we've not seen A Quiet Place because we are terrified little schoolgirls, and but I know the premise.
Yeah,
I know there must be some sound in the movie. But it's just really funny to me that Best Sound Editing goes to A Quiet Place, which you could probably argue has the easiest job of all of these movies.
They don't talk.
Now, we'll have to ask Mom and Dad, because they saw the movie. But I think it's funny.
Mention what you wanted to do at a showing of A Quiet Place.
Yeah, so I don't do scary movies. Okay, I just don't. It's not my cup of tea.
Not mine either.
Or intense. You might say, oh, it's not a scary movie. Well, I'm not doing that intense either.
I've been lied to about that.
Yeah, I've been lied to. But I really, because I've heard, like, my parents and everyone told me that you were just so tense the whole movie that a sound would be made on screen, and you were just like, oh, and you would just kind of, like, get scared. And it's like, you know, nobody was breathing. Like, you could hear everything in the theater. I wanted to try to sneak in during the movie and just be like, and just, like, run out of the theater. Just scare the living crap out of them and run out of the theater. And just book it out. That would be so funny. It's a 12-year-old in me, but it would be so funny.
Could you just imagine all the screams that would suddenly be heard in the hallway?
Yes, that's why I wanted to do it.
I can just imagine being some moviegoer out in the hallway. You hear a tiny, like a quieter scream, and all of a sudden this whole unified scream for the whole theater, and then someone comes running out, giggling to themselves.
Call me sadistic. No, I would have been laughing hysterically. I probably wouldn't have been able to run.
Probably not. Yes, he is a bit sadistic. Alright, almost through here. Then we have Best Production Design. Black Panther, once again. The Favorite, First Man, Mary Poppins Returns, and Roma. I mean, I'm slightly biased. I honestly think Black Panther would be awesome.
Yeah, we're biased. We're not.
We're quite biased.
Plus, we haven't seen these other movies.
Yeah, pretty much. This one is where
excuse me.
We pretty much know probably which will win this one, but at the same time we're hoping for maybe at least one of the others. For Best Visual Effects, we have Christopher Robin, I think that'd be great, but I know it's probably not going to win in comparison to the rest.
At least it got the nomination.
Yeah, at least it got the nomination.
I honestly didn't think it would get any nominations, so at least it got a nomination.
Yeah. So we have Christopher Robin, First Man, Ready Player One, Solo, A Star Wars Story, and then pretty much the one we know is going to take the cake, Avengers: Infinity War.
Oh yeah, Infinity War is definitely going to take it. If it doesn't, I'll be surprised.
Yeah,
I could maybe see
it
going to First Man. I was not a big fan of Ready Player One, even though I enjoy the video game and the '80s references. It just didn't speak to me.
Not really.
Solo, I do agree. It was a very beautiful looking movie visually. Although Infinity War outdid it. Like, it outdid everybody, in my opinion, but I'm biased.
Honestly, if Infinity War doesn't win this, I'm going to be shocked.
Like, I think it deserves it just so we can have a freaking Oscar on the list. Like, if we can get Best Picture, this will be a first for Marvel. Like,
that would be just fantastic. Let's see, a couple more. Best Film Editing. Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody,
there's still more.
The Favorite, Green Book, and Vice, pretty much all the same stuff.
Yeah, you get this in the Oscars.
That's
pretty much all the ones we want to cover.
Yeah, the rest of them are kind of ones we either
we're just not
definitely
as
don't know,
in.
or not as invested in.
These are the big ones. It's the Black Panther, Green Book, Roma,
Vice, The
Favorite. Those are pretty much your contenders. Actually, Vice are not Roma. Roma and The Favorite have 10 nominations each.
Oh, wow.
Still doesn't beat Return of the King.
Nope.
Which is tied for first place with James Cameron.
We covered this.
Who I can't stand. There's a girl in my intro to production class who hates Titanic too, and I'm like, thank you.
Finally.
Thank you for understanding me.
Now, we will preface it with this. We are not interested in watching the Academy Awards at all.
No.
For those of you who are interested, it'll be on February 24th on ABC. We only are just interested in the nominations, especially just because some of the movies we really like, especially like Black Panther, got so many nominations and we were interested. I don't watch them, but I just usually just wait for the aftermath and hear, okay, who won what.
Yeah. So, pretty much, when is it happening?
February 24th.
Okay, so it's a ways out.
Oh, yeah. It's
when
like
this happens, we'll pretty much just tell you if Black Panther or Infinity War won the Oscar. If not, we'll probably just say, nope, they didn't, and we'll move on.
We pretty much don't care about anything else.
We're not a big, we'll not get into that, but that's pretty much, we're not that interested in the Oscars. Never really have been.
I only get interested if a movie I like it's nominated for something.
We might have watched it when The Return of the King got its Oscars. I vaguely remember seeing that.
That's the only time I remember watching an award show is for Return of the King. I think maybe for Two Towers, but I mostly remember Return of the King.
Vaguely remember it. Because Return of the King deserves every Oscar it got, and then some.
Heck yeah.
Anyway, today might be a shorter episode because our topic is a tough one to talk about in the sense that we can't do it justice in this format.
Yeah.
It is called RiffTrax. We have referenced it before.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who might be of this disposition, we love to make fun of movies. Even movies we love. We like making jokes about them and kind of nitpicking, but it's all in good fun. We got this from a television show, late 90s, I think, television show. Early 90s, called Mystery Science Theater 3000. If anyone knows that, please hit that like button and comment saying, hey, I know what you're talking about. Which is about this guy named Joel and later a guy named Mike who gets shot up into space on this giant satellite that looks like a dog bone called the Satellite of Love, where they have these they have multiple robots. They have 4 robots. They have Cambot, who's the camera. They got Gypsy, who's, I don't really know what to describe Gypsy as. She's like filler. She's just kind of odd. There's Tom Servo and then there's Crow. Tom Servo and Crow go with Joel and Mike into this theater room where they send them cheesy movies, the worst they can find.
Like B movies, like
really bad movies. And they make fun of the movie. That's all they do. They sit there and they make fun of the movie, and you can see their silhouettes at the bottom of the screen, and it's funny because sometimes they interact with the screen, but the jokes they make are just funny, and it makes watching the movies bearable, even though they are literally bad. They will cause you to go into shock, which they've made us do a couple of times.
Well, and funny enough, like, even though some of them are, like, really bad, they're so bad that, like, they make you laugh, and they're actually kind of funny.
Yeah, but not necessarily in the so bad it's good.
No,
like
no,
in
no,
the
not
so
in
bad,
that sense.
In the so bad, it's like, what are you doing right now? Like, that kind of bad.
Like some of our favorite ones from Mystery Science Theater 3000 are like Pod People, Ega.
The ones we really got introduced to it on were those two.
Pretty much. Then there's ones like
Manos, the Hands of
Manos.
Fate.
Oh gosh, Manos, Hands of Fate. Mitchell.
Regarded as one of the worst movies of all, and you've not seen the Creeping Terror.
No, I have not yet.
The Creeping Terror it's like a monster film, but it's the really crappiest monster film you've ever seen.
What's the one that they redid at the live show? The one that we just recently saw. Not Krull, but the one before that.
Space Mutiny.
Space Mutiny.
Yeah. If you want to picture the Creeping Terror, imagine if Jabba the Hutt suddenly deflated. And they just kind of threw a bunch of random crap on him, and he looked like a blanket. And he just kind of slowly moved forward to eat you.
That sounds slightly
And
terrifying.
everyone who... And no. Like, yeah, it could. But in the execution, it looks like crap. It looks like the world's worst Chinese parade float. You know the dragons with like dudes inside of it.
Yeah.
And it looks like Jabba the Hutt, and that had the world's worst baby. Like it doesn't look like you could see like this really slow moving creepy thing. It could be scary, but it's not. It's laughable because everyone they see it coming, and it's moving at like 1 inch every 5 weeks, and they're like. There's the funniest part in this movie is unintentionally funny. This one dude, he's not seducing his girlfriend, but he's like kissing his girlfriend, and this thing pops up, and she screams, and he just books it. Like he literally takes off so fast. No one else in the movie does that. Everyone's just like, ah, and then they slowly get eaten. But it's not like a slow, kind of like creepy slow. It's hilarious slow, and it's on. Oh my god!
Now I kind of want to see this.
We need to show it. This movie is so bad.
The reason that we bring up Mystery Science Theater 3000 is because that, over the years, became what we now know as RiffTrax. It's the... I don't want to say the original, because technically they weren't exactly the original.
They're not the original, but they're part of the show.
Yeah, I knew they're part of the show. But it's three of the same guys. It's Mike Nelson, Bill Corbett, and Kevin Murphy. I almost wanted to give them all each other's last names.
Yeah.
I almost messed them up. So yeah, Mike Nelson, Bill Corbett, and Kevin Murphy. And they make fun of movies still, but they actually do more of the big blockbuster type films.
Yeah, and we call it riffing. Like, they riff the films. Like, that's what they call it.
Yeah. And instead of it being...
Well, they also do... They still do the really crappy ones.
Yes, they do still also do the crappy ones. They do those in more live shows, which actually get shown in different theaters. We've seen some at our theater. Which
usually
is,
1 or 2 a year. They get a lot of funding for it.
And they're super fun. But when we first found out about them, we found out they did like the Lord of the Rings, all the Star Wars, the first little bit of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, the phase 1 pretty much.
They've done all the Harry Potters. So like they do like big blockbuster movies. And instead of it being like actual, like, you know, movies with their silhouettes and stuff, what they actually do is they have an MP3 of their commentary that you sync up with a DVD of the movie.
It's pretty easy to do too. They have a character they call Disembodio who will say, he's like a little robot who will say a line the same moment a character does. And, you know, if you're off, you just kind of pause the movie or the RiffTrax for the appropriate amount of time, usually just a second or less.
That's what Dis is.
That's what Dis says, yeah.
He literally just channeled Dis's, you know,
yeah, and so they
signature line.
It's pretty easy to sync up, but and it's vital that you are synced up perfectly because some of the jokes are so dependent upon the timing of the scene that anything else is not as funny.
Or it doesn't make sense because they'll say a joke that's like supposed to be a couple minutes or a couple seconds ahead,
not a couple
but in the middle of another line, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so you got to make sure you're synced up. They also do have a thing that syncs it up for you automatically, but we found actually that can actually get off pretty easily. It's easy to fix, but it's a pain to fix. But you can sync it up with Disembodio and have it go pretty easily. And the funny thing is, when we discovered this, it was actually not us who discovered it. It was our cousin Barry. And we'd been saying for years, MST3K needs to come back, and they need to do Lord of the Rings, they need to do Star Wars, because we love these movies, and it would just be hilarious. And our cousin Barry posted a video, best of RiffTrax from YouTube, 2 Towers.
And we were kind of like,
and we were like,
what is this?
He tagged us in it. He's like, oh my gosh, this is funny. He didn't even know that it was related to MST3K in any way.
But
He's
we were listening and going, these are
the guys.
These sounds like the guys from MST3K.
Like, this is Tom Servo. This is Mike. And we're like, this is the thing. And we looked up and we're like, they have Star Wars, they have Lord of the Rings, they have Harry Potter, they have the Transformers, which are just so bad I can't even watch them anymore. Like, not even some movies, not even RiffTrax can make good.
Yeah, sadly.
Okay, like, some movies you can watch that are bad, or that you might not like, and it can at least still make it funny and bearable. There are some movies that are irredeemable, that just cannot be made good or enjoyable. The Transformers movies are on that list. We riffed the third one recently a few months ago, my parents and I. And oh my gosh, I can't believe I ever liked those movies. I was young and stupid. I liked those movies once. Like, this is horrible. It's visually assaulting. Like, even the cinematography in it is just assaulting. And it's just, oh my gosh.
Here's what's also kind of funny about the guys at RiffTrax. Is they pretty much hate, like, almost every movie in existence.
Do. Like,
some they make it clearly known that they hate them. Like, if you watch the riff of The Phantom Menace...
It is pure hatred. It is nothing but pure hatred.
Especially towards Jar Jar. Every time he's on screen, they're screaming at him.
Well, they're not screaming at him, not until like,
they screamed at him later, but...
Yeah. I will say this, like, I will give this disclaimer. We encourage everyone to go check out RiffTrax if you are a big movie fan. However, we give this disclaimer. If there is a movie that they have riffed that you like, there is a good chance they will say something that will make you a little bit mad. Because
they may make fun of a character you like.
Like, they hate Star Wars. I think they hate the prequels more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But they just don't like Star Wars in general. Like, the riff of The Last Jedi, it has some hatred in it, but not for, like, the reason other people hate it. They just don't like Star Wars. And it bothers me sometimes. They make these jokes. I'm like, that's not true. It kind of bothers me. There are films, though, that they love. And you can tell that they love them.
And this has earned my greatest respect. The only movies that they have made known that they absolutely love is Lord of the Rings.
Like, they love it. Like, in their riffs, you can tell when they hate something, because it just kind of comes across. But in Lord of the Rings, they're making fun of it. You can tell it's out of love.
Yeah, you can tell. It's just playful. And
they're fans of the books, too.
Oh, yeah, they love the books.
Because they reference all this random crap from the books, but it's like...
Well, and here's another thing. They, like, never, ever praise a scene. But the moment in Fellowship of the Ring... when the Balrog emerges in front of Gandalf, and they all go, oh yeah.
I think one of them claps.
Yeah, one of them actually claps.
They go, great entrance. No joke, just a great entrance. Like, just
they praise the Balrog's entrance.
It is a great entrance.
Well, and then Gandalf's scene on the bridge, they said this is the guitar solo of the movie, which, as you know, guitar solos are awesome.
I know. They love Lord of the Rings. In fact, they've referenced Lord of the Rings in almost every single RiffTrax they've done. There's only been a couple. There's only been one I think that we know of, and it's Sharknado. Yes, they have done the first two Sharknadoes in live riff form. They are hilarious.
See, those are the kind of movies that RiffTrax makes bearable.
Oh,
like,
Sharknado's
on its own.
Amazing.
I don't know.
Sharknado's amazing.
I barely got through the third one on its own without the riff.
I love Sharknado because it just manages to ride the fine line of it's so bad it's good. Just perfectly, in my opinion. It's their crap movies, but they have this charm of how bad they are that I can't help but forgive them a little bit.
But they make Lord of the Rings and a lot of Star Wars references too, and like so many of their different riffs that we actually like keep track.
Like Porkins, they love Porkins.
Yeah,
Jack Tono Porkins for true fans out there.
They make those references mostly in the actual Star Wars movies.
They made it in Avengers.
Did they?
They made it twice in Avengers. Jack Tono Porkins, they made it twice in Avengers.
Oh, I didn't even remember that.
Yep.
But yeah, see, that's how I knew that I love these guys so much, is that they above all movies that they've seen, they love Lord of the Rings. And, like, they make fun of it, but it's been nothing, like, they've had nothing bad to say about it.
They really don't.
Star Wars, they will rip to shreds.
Yeah, they don't like Star Wars. Like, the originals, the prequels, the sequels, they just don't like them. They hate the prequels more than
Transformers, they will tear to shreds.
They despise Michael Bay Transformers. They don't really like. I mean, they don't like anything. They don't like Avatar. They didn't like Titanic. They didn't like.
Who actually likes which Avatar are you referring to? Oh.
They did Last Airbender. They just thought that movie was crap.
I was thinking Last Airbender.
No, they did Last Airbender. I just thought that movie was crap. They did James Cameron's Avatar. Paul, stop fuming.
Paul's fuming off to the side.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to mention that word. They don't even really like Marvel. Like, they don't really like anything. They did Batman vs. Superman. They did, like, a big thing with that.
That was another one that really not even the Riff could save for me.
No. Some parts could, but...
well, also because with that one, they did it with multiple people.
Yeah, that part was weird. Especially the British ones. You couldn't really understand what the crap they were saying because it seemed too loud. And even never mind. But it's funny because when we first introduced RiffTrax through the video our cousin shared, we started looking up more stuff on the internet, and we're like, do we want to give this a shot? Because we will say this, it also does cost money. You have to pay a few dollars to get the MP3. This is how they keep it. They keep open. They almost have to beg you at the end of RiffTrax to not pirate or just illegally download the RiffTrax, because otherwise they can't keep making RiffTraxes. And I will pay. I believe in paying for something I want to see more of. Mm-hmm. That's why I saw episode 7 times on $5 Tuesdays.
Quick side note, I'm pretty sure it should still be on YouTube, but I will find that video that our cousin shared and put it in the description so you guys can kind of get a taste for it yourselves of what it's like. And
one thing I will get to RiffTrax that I really respect about them is I've seen, like, they do like mini trailers sometimes of RiffTraxes that are coming out, either they're live riffs or ones they're about to release. What I really respect is that the funniest jokes are not in the trailers. No. Like, when I saw the trailer for the Avengers RiffTrax, which was the first one we ever fully riffed, I was like, these jokes aren't that funny. But we'd seen the Return of the Two Towers, Return of the King best ofs, and we're like, these are hilarious. Actually, I don't think we'd seen Return of the King.
I don't think we'd seen the Return of the King
We'd seen
one.
Maybe one or two others, but we're like, it's really funny. But I was like, but I respect that, because often when you go to a comedy, they show all the best jokes in the trailer, and then you're like, okay, well, show me something new. And then it's not as funny. And you're like, well, that was disappointing. So I really respect about RiffTrax is that they don't show all the best jokes. They show you some of the jokes that may or may not be funny to you. But then you go and you get some of the greatest jokes, and oh my gosh, some of the jokes.
Well, like, I almost hate to spoil it, but I have to bring it up. Their most recent one that they released was for the movie Solo.
Yeah, they did Solo. Oh, I was gonna say this one.
Are you thinking the same one?
I am. Of course, I'm thinking of the same one you are. It's the only one you remember. This is a great joke.
I'm sorry to steal your thunder, but and pardon my French. There's one slight swear word here, but there's a scene in the movie, if you haven't seen it or even if you have, where
it's not important really if there's
where Solo reveals to a couple of the characters in the movie that he knows that they're basically, they're not part of the...
That they're criminals.
That they're criminals.
They're not Imperial military.
That they're not Imperial military and they're criminals. And one of them points a gun at him and says, well, now we have to shoot him. And then was it Kevin?
It was Beckett.
No,
Beckett says don't.
Oh, yeah, Beckett says don't, but then who is it that said, was it Kevin or Bill?
I think it was Mike.
Oh, it was Mike. Oh, okay. One of the guys, right after Beckett tells her don't, Mike chimes in and says, yeah, we have to let him shoot first, or else they'll bitch about it for decades. And I kid you not, I could not stop laughing at that
Which is absolutely true. Some of the jokes are hilarious because they're true. Let Han shoot first, or people will bitch about it for decades. Mm-hmm. It's true! And that's just like, and the reason why we're going to kind of make this short is because it is so hard to describe it. It is an in-the-moment sort of, some of them you can make the joke. But it's just, it can still be funny. But some of it is just too in-the-moment and like reactionary that you just can't describe it accurately. Another quick side note. The entire riff of Solo with Woody Harrelson, not one single hemp joke. Yeah, there are some jokes that they make all the time. Like they always, in Hunger Games, they did the first Hunger Games.
That's true.
Woody Harrelson's in it. They keep making jokes about hemp and weed and things like that because, it's Woody Harrelson. They didn't make a single one in Solo. And that's the thing we found. With the Star Wars riffs, there are a bunch of jokes we wanted them to make that they didn't. Also,
same with the last Harry Potter, too.
Not for the faint of heart. Check out the RiffTrax of the movie Birdemic. This is not for the faint of heart. Gathered, or pretty much declared, one of the worst movies of all time. Birdemic It's the worst ripoff of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds ever created. It's a really crappy piece of movie.
And it was made in 2010 of all times.
12.
Or 12.
Well, it's finished in 2012.
Oh, dear gosh. That's almost worse.
Really just everything that could be bad about a movie is. Now, it's a B movie. Like, it's not a big motion picture. But it's crap. It's not for the faint of heart. I say that, and I cannot tell you why. You'll have to experience it. Also, they've done The Room, which we've never seen and never will because we don't want to put ourselves through that. Oh, hi, Mark. That's all I will get out of The Room.
If you're going to watch Birdemic, you have to watch it with RiffTrax, or else you
will
not make it.
You have to, or you will die.
Yeah, you will not make it. You will
go into shock.
You'll fall into a coma
and die. Because I almost went into shock with the RiffTrax.
It's so unbearably bad.
Everything about it is bad. Like, literally everything. There's not one redeemable. People love it because it is so bad. But to an extent, there are some points where I'm like, I will not say it's good because it's bad. I'm just going to say it's bad. It's laughably horrible, but that doesn't make it good. So, not for the faint of heart, it is horrible. It is unbearable to watch. Sharknado is for everybody, though.
Well, and another one that we like, at least that they did in a live rift some time ago, another B movie is Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny.
Oh. Also not for the faint of heart.
Which, I think the following Christmas, Austin declared that would be our new Christmas tradition, was to watch.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with Christmas.
Literally has nothing to do with Christmas. It's just Santa Claus getting stuck on a beach, and then...
And the Ice Cream Bunny, it's for an amusement park that closed down in Florida. It was like a movie they made for the park. It is this horror. It is so bad.
Weird, but it's one of those moments where it's bad, it's funny. But not in a good way. I mean, you'll laugh, but you're still just like, oh my gosh, what is this movie?
I know. It is just this wonderful little film.
And Bill adds a
We're
really...
not gonna... don't
I'm not gonna imitate it, but Bill adds a really funny laugh to the character of the Ice Cream Bunny.
Horrifying mascot. The Ice Cream Bunny.
The Ice Cream Bunny is
horrifying. Mascot. It's a mascot. It's not even like a CG bunny. It's a mascot.
It is the thing of children's nightmares.
It is the thing of nightmares. We should include an image of the Ice Cream Bunny on the upload.
I'll put an image. I may even find a clip on YouTube of it.
Yeah, put a clip. There is a clip on YouTube of the laugh.
Of the laugh.
Put the link in the description.
Okay, I'll do that.
As a preview and a token of goodwill to our followers.
We may lose a few after this.
Peace on earth, goodwill to men. The story of Christmas and the Ice Cream Bunny. But there are so many riffs out there. Honestly, some of them there's plenty we haven't seen because they're just movies we don't want to watch. Like we did Twilight. They've done all the Twilights. We did the first one and just about killed ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is not a good joke to make. We just about died. Honestly, though that in our opinion is one of the movies you cannot make better with RiffTrax.
Nope.
Mostly because we have bad blood with Twilight, and we're not going to talk about its specifics, but our family has bad blood with Twilight.
Well, and frankly, I watched the movie by itself when it was on TV.
We braved that.
And all I could do was...
We should get a medal for doing that.
Yeah, we should. But all I could do was laugh because the acting is just unbearable. And I want to go, this is what you seriously went with?
If you're a fan of Twilight, we don't get you.
Our sincerest apologies for your taste.
Yeah. Whatever. But
it's your opinion. It's wrong, but it's your opinion.
They did Twilight. They've done Harry Potter. And honestly, the Harry Potter riffs are actually some of our favorite riffs. But they're also...
Harry Potter 2 is probably one of the best riffs out there.
But they're also kind of what opened our eyes to all the problems
with
the Harry Potter movies. And my extreme dislike of J.K. Rowling. But again, I'm not going to talk about that.
Another warning to go back to, not for the faint of heart. In Harry Potter 5, there's a lot more innuendo, so to speak, than most.
They are not incredibly family friendly. Some are more than others. Like some of it is like Brooklyn Nine-Nine levels of family friendly, where there are some jokes that are like kind of cringy. It's like bad, inappropriate joke. But pretty much all of Harry Potter 5 is just an innuendo. But the problem is it's funny. It's so funny, but it's bad.
We'll just say it has to do with wands.
Yeah,
let that play on your imagination.
Whip your wands out is the line they like to play on.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's pretty much the crux of the jokes of Harry Potter 5, but it's so funny.
We will say there's slight language, but anything bad they do censor.
Yeah, most of the really bad stuff they censor out. For those
the really bad language is censored. That was one thing we were kind of worried about when we started out with it. You know, maybe it would be uncensored and we wouldn't be able to watch it, but they do censor the bad stuff. Some of it's not, but it's... Yeah. I don't want to say the more harmless language, but not the really bad words.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some jokes that are bad, not family-friendly jokes, but there are plenty that are. Most of the best ofs on YouTube don't have the really bad ones, like the Harry Potter 5 one. Perfectly good riff on YouTube.
Oh, they trick you with that.
Yeah, and then you go and watch the real one, and you're like, what is this? This is not what we thought. What are some of the... They did, not Temple of Doom. They did, Raiders of the Lost Ark and Crystal Skull.
Yeah,
They don't mind. They don't mind the Raiders of the Lost Ark. They don't love it. They don't mind it. I don't think. They hate Crystal Skull.
Everybody hates Crystal Skull.
I know, and they make no qualms about it. They hate the Crystal Skull.
They mostly hate Shia LaBeouf. They hate
everything
LaBeouf.
about.
I know, but I'm just saying they really hate Shia LaBeouf.
They hate Transformers. Like literally, they have like declared like hellfire and damnation on it.
And Jar Jar Binks.
And Jar Jar Binks and Twilight. Like they don't like a lot of movies, but they really hate those ones.
I'm trying to think of what other movies we've seen with Riff.
Oh, we've seen plenty. Eon Flux for that really bad movie with what's her bucket? Charlize Theron. That was based off, I think, a video game or an anime. I think it's an anime, actually.
Aeon Flux is an anime, isn't it, Alan?
Which one?
Aeon Flux.
Isn't that an anime? I think it's an anime. It's a really bad movie.
It might
it's not
be,
great. It's a really boring movie. They did that one.
They did Aragon.
They did Aragon for those who hate it. But however, I will say, if you hate Aragon, probably don't watch The Riff because we know people who may be in this room who watched it having read the books with the RiffTrax and they could do nothing but hate it. I have a friend, Brent, who's one of the most mellow people I've ever met. Like, legitimately, he's got the driest sense of humor, but he's a great guy, but he's just very mellow. We riffed Aragon with him, and he had this death glare. He wasn't even laughing at the jokes. He was trying to burn the TV from the inside out with his gaze.
I'm pretty sure Paul did the same thing when we showed it to him.
He wasn't laughing. He didn't laugh once, I don't think. He laughs at RiffTrax. It's honestly surprising when he laughs at RiffTrax because he's a very mellow dude. It doesn't seem like he laughs at a bunch, but he hates that movie.
Which you'd think they would laugh considering they're making fun of a movie that they hate.
He was too busy hating it.
Yeah, also, if you're a person that likes to pay more attention to what's going on in the movie than, like, commentary, then RiffTrax probably isn't for you. Yep. I'd recommend doing it with a movie that you have already seen.
We recommend seeing the movie first. If it's one that you've not seen that you want to see them do, we recommend watching the movie first. That way you get the whole story and everything. Even if you get the story or not, you get it. Because there are times when they talk over important dialogue or important things that are happening. So we recommend seeing the movie first.
Yeah, see movies first, then watch it with the RiffTrax.
Then watch with the RiffTrax. Okay, let's talk about this. Morgan, what's your favorite RiffTrax? What's your favorite movie they've done?
Oh, jeez, you're really gonna
It's hard to pick. It legitimately is.
It is so hard. Oh man, I mean, of course, I love the Lord of the Rings RiffTrax, but I'm not gonna try and pick a specific one. But I probably will say the Avengers one, just because we've watched that one a lot.
That was our starter riff.
That was our starter riff, and honestly, it still never fails to just crack me up.
Oh yeah, we just watched it. My parents and I just watched it the other day. Oh. Great stuff.
Yeah, there's so many. What about you?
I know I'm dying again.
I will say that the Solo one also was really funny.
The Solo one was really good. The new Star Wars riffs they've done are really good because the prequels are funny, but it's mostly just hatred for Jar Jar, Natalie Portman, and Hayden Christensen, and everything else. It's just hatred, which is sometimes funny. The original trilogies are also funny.
I love the water.
I don't like sand. Anyway, actually, episode 5 is special to me because it features Chad Vader. They do. Episode 2 does as well, but he makes like 3 jokes.
It's like 3
He's
jokes.
very absent. But in episode 5, they do it with Chad Vader, and he makes it really funny.
There's my dog.
There's my dog. Episode 7, the new ones are actually really, I think, are better. Episode 7's pretty good. Rogue One's great. The Last Jedi one's actually really funny too, but it's hard for me to pick because there are just so many great ones, and there's so many you forget too. Like there are jokes that you remember and will always remember, and then there are jokes that you forget and they come back and you just like, I can't believe I forgot that because it's so funny. You know what? I actually have to say I think The Last Jedi is my favorite riff because it actually does feature one of my favorite RiffTraxes for whatever reason. One of my jokes anyway.
Which one was it?
It's when they show a close up of the fathers, the horse thingies, and one of them it kind of leans down sadly, and one of the guys, I think it's Mike, goes, "I'm an evolutionary mistake."
I forgot that one.
And that just about killed me. I don't know why.
See, but I've only seen that one, I think, at least once, maybe twice.
You probably saw it once.
I probably only saw it once. I do need to see that one again.
It's just so freaking... I don't know why I thought it was so funny. But I did. I was dying.
Well, and there are a couple of things that, like... They almost have, like, their signature things. Mostly, like, Kevin and Bill. Kevin's the one that, when there's music playing... Yeah, he'll either dramatically, like,
or he'll
vocalize with it, or he'll make up lyrics to the music.
Mike did it once.
Mike's done it too, yeah. And then Bill will always make jokes or quote-unquote references to either his family or his marriage, usually in a negative light.
Okay, here's a riff. Like, we've not seen this one. It's a live riff they did. We've never seen this movie. We probably never will. They did Starship Troopers. For those of you who know that movie, there's a line in the movie where there's like a drill sergeant or is an officer saying, I think, to the main character, he's like, "You're in it until you're dead, until I find somebody better." And Mike Nelson goes, "Aw, my wedding vows."
That was Mike, not Bill.
I love that joke because that is just hilarious. Like, that's a twist on words that just was coming from.
Honestly, they all do it. I know Bill is usually.
Bill usually does it.
Bill does a lot more.
We of course have to mention Cerebro.
Magneto.
Cerebro.
Magneto.
Noxemo.
I don't know what follows that.
I don't remember. Edu.
Dooku.
Edu.
Dooku.
Got a new one. They love making fun of X-Men, especially the names of Cerebro
and Magneto.
Like
that popped up more in, what was it, X2?
Is X2. Happens the most in X2.
No one knows me. I'm freaking
Magneto. One of the greatest riffs.
But then they'll bring it up sometimes in other riffs.
Unrelated riffs. Like, this is a Lando Cerebro.
Magneto.
Did it in Last Jedi as well. They did it in Last Jedi.
Well, and then the one that we just did with Edu and Dooku, that was from Rogue One.
Talk it, Edu.
Edu?
Dooku.
They're weird like that, and it's great.
And some of them are great because they come out of nowhere, and you don't really think of it, and you're like, ah. And the funny thing, okay, also, if you're going to get into RiffTrax, which we highly recommend, there'll be many jokes that they make in reference to other riffs that will not make sense until you see the riffs.
They made so many Birdemic references that we never caught until we finally saw it.
In Avengers, there's 3 of them.
There's 3 in Avengers?
There's 3 in Avengers.
Oh, wow.
There's 100 MPG, solar panels, and Birdemic bird hit the car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, for years we were lost in some of these jokes as well until we saw some of these riffs and we're like, oh my gosh, that joke is 1,000% funnier now because we know the riff, we know the joke.
They also will laugh at each other's jokes.
Oh, and sometimes Kevin laughs at his own jokes.
Oh yeah, Kevin will laugh at his own jokes, and I love Kevin's
No
laugh.
one else will laugh. Like, he will laugh, but it's kind of like a fake laugh, but even so, it's like, he'll make a joke, and then he'll laugh at it, and you're like,
you just hear this little off to the other side, that almost makes it funny when you hear them laughing at their own stuff.
Yeah. We highly recommend their live riffs as well. They put them on their website, like the Mystery Science Theater reunion show they did, because Mystery Science Theater is now, it's now a Netflix series.
Yes, with Felicia Day and Patton Oswalt.
Yes, Patton Oswalt is on it. which I love. I love Patton Oswalt. Like, honestly, he's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, Felicia Day for Supernatural fans, or Critical Role. She does end up on Critical Role eventually.
Oh, she does? Is she a regular, or is she?
No, I think she's only there for a couple of episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a redhead. She's super funny.
Cool. But and then there's a new guy. It's not Mike or Joel, the original dudes. It's a new guy. But yeah, they have it. It's back, and so they did a reunion show for it. It was, RiffTrax, MSC3K, kind of thing, where they had Mike Nelson, Kevin Murphy, and Bill Corb, but they also had Joe Hodgson, who was the original. He was the creator of the show, and the new guy. They did a couple shorts, and they have, in the show, there are these two mad scientists, quote-unquote mad scientists, who send them into space. They do a couple riffs, and theirs are hilarious.
Mike Nelson's wife is also one of them, too.
Mike Nelson's wife's also one of them, along with, there's plenty of others. But honestly, that's a really great one, because they do some really, really bad short movies. Like, little shorts, from the old shorts. And they're hilarious, like, the way they did, it's just,
Well, and if you like RiffTrax on Facebook, they'll usually announce when they're doing a live riff of a B movie. And a lot of times they'll show them in theaters. So if you ever, if you live in Idaho or even anywhere else where
they have locations listed.
Yeah, if you live in any locations that they list, go see it. It's just as fun to actually watch it in theater as it is, like, right on your own television. It's super fun. And, like Austin said, they do shorts before each movie. They'll do, like, maybe fun little things in between. Like, for the Space Mutiny, when we went and saw, Kevin came out in this full, like, silver, like, robe or bodysuit or whatever, basically portraying one of the characters in the movie, and looked absolutely ridiculous. And there's actually one riff they did, I think it was Ice Cream Bunny, I don't remember which one, but they actually, like, had props that they were using. They were using a bucket of water.
It was Ice Cream Bunny. We will not describe the rest of that joke, because you just need to experience it. It just about killed Spencer, that joke.
That's true, it did.
That was our first real live riff experience of saying on the Ice Cream Bunny. That was right before my mission, and we about lost it.
Yeah, that's the only time I can recall they actually used, like, props or anything for the sake of a joke. But the live riffs are super fun. I mean, you can download them when they're on their website and watch them at home. But if you get a chance to see them in theaters, do it. It is so fun. It's just as fun. And every once in a while, it'll pull away from the movie and show the three guys on the side of the screen, doing their riffs. And sometimes it's fun just to watch them, like, react or act out what they're doing.
Yeah.
Really, RiffTrax is just fun. If you're someone who doesn't like commentary or your favorite movies being made fun of, this probably isn't for you.
Yeah. But
if you have kind of a more open sense of humor and you don't mind people talking through a movie, then definitely give this a shot.
Oh yeah, especially if it's a movie. Sometimes if it's a movie you hate, it just sometimes makes it better. Like Batman and Robin. That's a crap movie, but it's funny riff.
Yeah, Batman and Robin, the movie that made them want to apologize for pod racing.
Yeah, but again, sometimes there are movies that just cannot be saved. It's mostly a matter of opinion. If you hate the movie that much, it's like one of those things. It's like, you know what? Don't bother.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, that's basically, I don't want to say become our life, but we watch riffs.
It's become our life. I am a master riffer.
Yeah, because we've watched RiffTrax so much, Austin has become a natural riffer at riffing, like, anything.
Yeah, my mom always gets mad and she's like, stop talking. I'm like, oh, but you laugh. She always laughs at my jokes because my jokes are in good taste.
He'll riff any movie, an episode of a TV show, and Mom will be like, hey, no riffing, and he's like, you laugh at my jokes.
I don't riff in a movie theater unless there's just a moment I have to take.
I mean, you'll turn and whisper it, but you don't say it out loud. Whisper.
I usually try not to say it out loud, but it's one of those, it's like, if I have a moment in a movie, because usually if it's the first time seeing a movie, I try to pay attention. But if it's a moment that I just see and have to take, then I take it. That's just how... Now, RiffTrax, of course, they have a team of writers and they have a script in front of them. But heck, this is my improv skill. This is all my improv skill.
Yeah, so he gets it straight from improv.
Some of them are taking jokes from what they've done, jokes that they made, like, reoccurring jokes sometimes.
Ones that fit in a certain context.
But then there are some that I make up on the spot, and I'm like, hey, I'm pretty smart, and I'm pretty funny.
If you do say so yourself.
I did say so myself. Speaking of that, riffs they need to do. Van Helsing. Do Van Helsing RiffTrax. If this somehow makes it to you, maybe 6 years from now or something like that. Do Van Helsing.
I don't know if there's other movies out there, but it's the one with Hugh Jackman.
There's not an official Van Helsing movie.
Okay.
They know what I'm talking about.
The one with Hugh Jackman and David Wenham and, oh shoot, what's her face?
Who cares? Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
Not Kate Blanchett. I know you were going to say Kate Blanchett.
No, I was thinking completely different actress.
Okay. Kate Beckinsale, yeah. They know Van, because there's no Van Helsing movie. The character of Van Helsing, actually I think Van Helsing was once played by Peter Cushing, Grand Moff Tarkin.
Really?
Not at all the same character. This is like a reimagining cinematic universe type thing they were going for, and it completely flopped, and it was a crap movie. Had Hugh Jackman in it, though. But...
Which, sadly, as much as I love Hugh Jackman, even he couldn't quite save that movie.
Nope.
Not even David Wenham either, and I like David Wenham.
The overacting of everybody on the cast, except for maybe those two.
Yeah.
They at least did okay.
They didn't quite overact.
They did okay, but everyone else was just like unbearably horrible. But yeah, do Van Helsing, or I will do it for you. By the way, RiffTrax, if you're listening, I want to put in my resume as the next guy. When y'all retire, I'm taking over. Like, I want to take over. I am a great...
I'm going to see if I can tag RiffTrax on our Facebook post and see if they'll see it.
I am great at this. They probably won't listen to it. They're busy guys.
Probably not.
This is my resume. Like, I'm putting it in. If you want to, contact, email us at our email and say, hey, we want to bring you down to wherever it is you guys do your thing. And, I'll do a riff with you. I would love nothing more than to do a riff with you.
What are some other movies that we've said that they need to do?
Oh, there's plenty. I can't think of them right now, but...
I know Van Helsing is pretty much like the primary
That's the one we want them to do more than any other movie in the world for whatever reason.
I don't even know why.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, and for those of you listening, if you get the premise of what we're telling you, I hope we're describing well enough.
Or if you actually know what RiffTrax is.
Put in the comments. What movies do you think they should do?
I do kind of wish that they would do the rest of the Marvel movies.
It's too much at this point.
Yeah, but still, that gives you plenty of stuff to go for a long time. It's like, okay, we don't have to try and figure out what's our next movie. You got a whole lineup.
Yeah. But there are other stuff coming out that other people would want them to do, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what do you think movies they should do? What movies do you think they should do? You think they should do the rest of the Marvels? Do you think they should tackle other stuff? The thing is, they don't do comedies or animated stuff. They just don't. That's just what they don't do.
The one that I can't believe we actually haven't brought up yet is they did the riff to High School Musical.
Yeah.
Oh, you love that one. Don't give me that.
I said yes.
I know, but the look on your face made it look like...
Yeah, it was like, Yeah, we love the High School Musical riff. It is one of the greatest riffs of all time.
They don't really do musicals, but that's
the one they do. And it's hilarious. Never before has a group of teenage or young adult men asked to watch High School Musical faster than my friends and I to riff High School Musical, because it is one of the funniest riffs out there.
I asked to watch that for, I think, my 22nd birthday.
The RiffTrax.
The RiffTrax, yeah. One was
the riff. Oh my!
Like they'll make up their own lyrics to all the songs.
Sorry, I can't.
Or they'll pull from other songs that sound similar, and it's. I can't tell you how many times I still crack at that.
We once watched it twice in 1 week.
Yes, we did.
Still, we watched Birdemic twice in 1 week. My mom's like, "What has become of us?" It's mostly because there were people who were coming in and out of town that hadn't watched them, and we were showing them to different people. I can't believe we pulled an hour out of this thing.
Yeah, we did, pretty much.
High School Musical, it never gets old.
Nope.
Some jokes get old, but some don't, and this is one of those.
Well, like, in the song Breaking Free, there's a moment where it sounds like Gabriella sings it bacon free, and then they go, bacon free?
Free bacon!
And they go off on that joke for like a whole minute.
Yeah, a minute and a
Bypassing
half.
almost the entire song, but...
And the rest of the song.
Well, not the rest, the entire song. And they make fun of Troy a lot. Sharpay and Ryan, oh my word, they make fun of them so bad.
My mom thinks Ryan's hilarious because she has had a friend who in high school looked just like him,
and it freaks her out every time.
So she's like, I can't look at him.
Well, he wore hats a lot, too,
He
like
did.
Ryan does.
He did, and we've seen the high school picture. He looks just like
He
him.
does look just like Ryan. And then, of course, the scenes where he's dancing, my mom just goes, oh, gosh. All I can picture is my friend dancing, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Honestly, it is one
Even
of
if
our
you don't like High
favorites.
School Musical, for whatever
Watch
reason,
it
watch it anyway.
Watch it anyway. Because High School Musical, it's not like so bad that it's just you hate it. There's some movies that are so bad people hate them, like Twilight. Some people hate The Last Jedi. But it's like some people, it's like you can't watch it because you hate it so much. Like the Transformers movies. This one, I don't think anyone really hates High School Musical.
It's just one of those you grew up with as a teenager. It was...
And you're like, maybe it's not as good, or maybe you still like it. Either way, it's hilarious.
Are you kidding? I still listen to the music. I'm 24. I mean, it was my early teenage years. I grew up obsessed
but
with those movies.
My early teenage years were the prequels and Transformers. Doesn't give me validation to keep.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I mean, I too also grew up and realized that the prequels were crap. But I still love High School Musical. That was, like, again, my teenage years.
But one of
And I still
our
love the music.
all-time favorite riffs right there.
I can't believe it took us this
If we
long
could
to mention
try
it.
to list them, if we could try to list favorite riffs, High School Musical's up there, Two Towers is up there, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is up there,
Avengers is up there.
Avengers up there. I'd say Episode 7 is actually really good too.
Episode 7. Solo I'd now add to the list.
Actually, just throw the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy in where I said Two Towers. The whole trilogy is freaking amazing.
Pretty dang much. They're all super good. I really can't choose a favorite out of the three
And
of
there are
them.
some we forget about.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is why we keep watching them quite frequently.
Our dad actually has a Excel sheet of all
the
of the
riffs, yeah.
movies, all the riffs that we own. How many times we've seen them.
Oh yeah, Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny.
Oh yeah, Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. There are some that we have marked that Paul hasn't seen yet because there were plenty that we watched before he joined the family, and we're pretty much catching him up.
Oh yeah.
Then yeah, we have this whole list just so we can keep track of, okay, what ones have we watched recently, what ones haven't we seen in a while. And he has them marked, like the last time that we watched them, to kind of help us keep track. Like, okay, we just watched this one, let's find something I've seen
He's
in a while.
not very great at keeping up to date with that thing.
Nah, not lately. But honestly, that's RiffTrax for you. It may not be for you, but it is totally for us.
It's not for everybody. We will say that. We've shown it to variety of people. Some have loved it, some have not, and that's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess.
And say some will find it hilarious, some just kind of sit there going, like, I don't quite get the humor.
We showed it to all of my best friends, and one we were unsure about was Maddie, and we gave her the gauntlet immediately through High School Musical, and then Birdemic. I think the second one we ever showed her was Birdemic. We put her through the gauntlet.
Yes, you did. Yes,
and
you did.
she loves she likes RiffTrax a lot, you know, and Spencer's probably gonna show Lindsay, his fiance, you know, he's got the Sharknado on DVD.
Yes, say you gave them Sharknado.
We bought and downloaded and gave them Sharknado on DVD just for them, of course. And yeah, we did that.
I've yet to show any of my friends RiffTrax, but some of them are the kind of people I don't think would really like it.
So some of you may. I tried showing it to a group of friends once, more of casual acquaintances, but did not go over well. But some people like it, some people don't.
I have a couple of friends who are like, you know, we'd watch a movie together, and a couple of people maybe make comments, and they'd be like, "Shush, we're watching the movie." So I know they probably definitely wouldn't like it.
So it's not for everybody. If you think it's for you, give it a shot. If you don't think it's for you, then that's your loss.
Yeah, go to RiffTrax.com.
Brings a lot more fun to the movies, I'll tell you that much.
Look at the selections they have. They have, like I said,
By the way,
all the ones that we've mentioned, other ones that we either don't know about or don't particularly care for that you might.
I found this out on last Tuesday, a week ago. My film styles and genres professor taught a guy who wrote a movie that was featured in Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Is that really something to be accomplished, to feel accomplished about?
No, but the reason he brought it up is because I mentioned Mystery Science Theater, and he's like, yeah, I taught a guy who did that. I was like, well, somebody didn't do his job. I don't know if he taught him screenwriting, but like he wrote one
Did
of
he
those
say
movies.
which movie it was?
I forget. I might have to ask him again.
But yeah, go to RiffTrax.com, see what they have, maybe find one for a movie you already know or like, and kind of give it a shot. It is super funny. It almost makes some of the movies better Because, maybe they'll make a joke about something you never thought of, or...
But you will never look at movies the same. Ever
No, you won't.
Again.
And if you're like Austin, you'll probably end up riffing some of the things you watch without RiffTrax. You'll do it yourself.
And if you're like me, you'll be great at it. I have faith in you. And you are fans. I have faith that you'll be amazing at riffing movies. Unless you're already amazing at riffing movies.
But honestly, RiffTrax has changed our lives, for lack of a better term.
Hey, I think so. Yeah. Maybe not like...
It's changed our lives.
You could argue for better or worse. Your laptop's running out, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it is 11:30, and I need to get home.
Yep.
So we are going to call this one here tonight. Thank you for joining in with us tonight on the Forcecast. I literally almost just said RiffTrax. This is not RiffTrax. That is a copyright.
This is his audition for getting RiffTrax.
That is a copyright. Can't say that. I just switched accents.
Quick side note: we did show him How to Train Your Dragon 2 over the weekend, which
yes,
I know in our last episode we said that we had to have a movie night and show it to him. I don't think that has anything to do with why he's talking in a Scottish accent, but it just reminded me we did show that to him.
Maybe it isn't, but
Yeah. We still haven't shown him.
I really enjoyed the movie.
We still haven't shown him Kung Fu Panda 3. That's next
on
our list.
Choice. That was my choice. I wanted to talk.
Yeah, we were gonna watch it the other night too, but then we decided, nah, we'll save it for another night.
Yes.
But yes, if you're interested, go find RiffTrax online or find him on Facebook. If you liked this episode of our podcast, please like our video, subscribe to us. We want to, still try and get as many followers. If you have any thoughts, comments on what we've talked about, comment on our YouTube link. Email us, forcecast327@gmail.com, or comment on our Facebook post. And again, if there's other things you'd like to have us talk about in the future, we've been getting suggestions from a couple of people. We'd still love to get more suggestions from you.
We are working on that one episode.
Oh yeah, for my friend Garen, we're working on it, bud. Thank you for listening to us today. We appreciate it. And we're going to wrap this up. We'll sign out. This has been the Forcecast, and may the Force be with you.